What's up, kids? All right, welcome back to the channel. So I believe this is video 5 in a little series I'm doing called How to Write a Song. And we're writing a song called the Taco Song. When I say we're writing a song, I just so happen to be working on this with some of my students. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, questions, put them in that comment section below. My whole goal is to help you learn to love music, help inspire you to create music to make the world a better place. Okay, quick note for you. You don't have to play an instrument yet, okay? You can write a song just using your voice. You can write it using words. I just so happen to be a music teacher, and the guitar is my main instrument, but you can start on a piano. I started it on the guitar. You could do a ukulele. Whatever way inspiration strikes for you, that's what you need to do. I'm just literally showing you my process of how it's done, because I get that question more times than not than any is how do you write a song? And it's a very detailed question to answer. So I figured why not break it down into a series of videos. Okay, so just small chunks. Now, I will tell you too, if I say a lot of these musical terms and you don't understand yet, don't worry. Just stick with it and you'll get it, okay? You're learning a new language. It's a journey. Music has so many pieces to the puzzle, but they're all super fun, and it's an amazing journey of learning. Okay, so what I did in the last video is I came up with what's called a chord progression. So just 2 chords. I did an E, and then I did it to a D. I get like a little groove going, so I think I got this going, okay? Because you gotta start somewhere, right? All right. Now what I did is I recorded that little part into what I have is called a looper pedal. You can't see it, it's down here on the floor. I showed a quick shot of it in the last video, video 4. And what it does is it records a piece of sound and allows me to play over it. So I had that little guitar chord progression going, and over the top of it, I just outlined the chords. Think of it as like using different colors on a white piece of paper. It's just colors, but colors for your ears. So I just outlined the chord progression, right? All right, that's it. So what I'm gonna do today is the fun's really going to begin. I'm going to take that simple part. Remember I said it's like a big block of clay and you're molding it into your musical vision. I'm gonna put it into a recording program and I'm gonna screen share that next, and then we're gonna start discussing that. And I want you to see how I keep working it, I keep molding it, I keep at it, and then it starts to take shape. And the fun part about recording music is you just never know what direction you're gonna go, okay? So, before we do that, I did promise my friend, Chris Fluffy, he could come on here and make a quick announcement to you. He says he's got some brilliant idea he has to share with you. And when he told me what it was, I thought it was actually a pretty good idea. So a quick word from Mr. Chris Fluffy, and then we're gonna hop into my recording program. The name of that is Logic Pro, and we'll get going from there. All right, so let's go check that out. Here's Chris. Hey, what's up, kids? Okay, so like Mr. Elmore said, I have this brilliant idea to share, but first, why don't you hit that subscribe button? We can all see the guy needs a lot of help. Let's help this guy, okay? Why don't you give that like button a fluffy little tap? That way this video will go into other people's thumbnail feeds and they could check it out and find us because we're like awesome. And hit the notification bell in order to get notified when new videos come out. All right, on to my brilliant idea. You heard Mr. Elmore say music is a language. It is. So what I'm gonna do every video is share a music term, like vocabulary word, to help you start to understand. So today's word, which I've written down below for you, is DAW, which stands for a digital audio workstation, okay? Just think of that as a program where you record your music, you record your dialogue, your speaking, whatever you use it for, it's pretty rad, okay? So that's it. Back to Mr. Elmore. Later. All right, thank you, Chris Fluffy, for that. That was amazing. All right, so he did his little vocabulary word, musical vocabulary word, and it was DAW, digital audio workstation. So you're looking at it right here. So this is a program I use called Logic Pro X. Now, it looks probably familiar to a lot of you, even if you've never used a DAW before, because this is like the big brother or big sister to GarageBand, which is an Apple product. So if your parents or you have an Apple phone, you've probably seen GarageBand at some point, or an iPad, which it's great if you start learning how to use that, then you can learn how to use Logic pretty easily. So I think what I want to show you, I was going to kind of pre-record everything and let you kind of hear already those little riffs that I was going to use, but I thought it'd be more fun if I just kind of show you me actually recording it in action, okay? So you know what? I'm going to turn on this little Cursor Pro thing just so you can kind of find my cursor a little bit easier. So up here I have a basic drum track. Now Logic has this amazing thing where it has this drummer where it's just a drummer that plays a beat for you, okay? And the drummers are over here. And it's awesome. Like, you can change different drummers. There's different styles. I don't really care about that yet. I'm just trying to find a basic beat to lay down the sketch idea for my song. So in this case, remember, we had two chords. We had an E major, this, all right? And we're going to go to a D major, this. Okay, and then I had another little part, another little layer, which I'm actually going to put down here. So let's just call this first one Guitar 1. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and call this Guitar 2. And one thing I can't stress enough is to stay very organized with your recording sessions. It's just like being a good student in school where you take amazing notes. And this is going to help you, because as this session grows, if you don't label stuff or something that makes sense to you, you're going to get really confused. So let me just let you hear really fast. This is what the beat sounds like. And again, this is just a drum beat that's a basic, lets me get up and running really fast and basically sketch out the song idea. So it sounds like this. And really fast before I do that, I want to point out right here, see where it says that number 120? That's my tempo, or my BPM. So that's just how fast or slow the song is. So 120 is a pretty standard tempo. I've noticed a lot of programs that's kind of like the default starting point, but I kind of like it. I can change it later. Again, this is my program where I'm sketching out the actual writing and production of the song, okay? And then as we advance in this series of videos, you're going to get to see how it goes from this. It's still nothing to something amazing, okay? So here's the beat, okay? Little rock beat. Okay, so that feels good to me. And then what I will do is I will lay down this part over it. So let's just record it and see what happens. So here we go, watch this. 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. So I have a little loop going there, all right? Now what I'm going to do is listen back to that. So I'm going to go down here to Guitar 2, and I'm going to record that underneath Guitar 1. So Guitar 1 is going to kind of be my main track, okay? So there you go. Real straightforward. Okay, so let's just go in and record the other part that I showed you in the prior videos. Now, that was just like this little picked part or arpeggio part. So we go, right? Okay. Now, don't worry about so much as capturing the perfect performance. Remember, this is just like a piece of clay that we're molding into our song idea. I don't know. You might see this whole process. It might change down the line. I'm not really worried about genre. I've got kind of an idea of the genre I want. But again, I got to get these basic ideas down so I can start getting the inspiration I need to actually write the song and at the highest level. So let's go ahead and record this track. So I click this little button right here. That little R button, when it turns red, means it's armed and ready to record. And I can go ahead and just click this little red dot, okay? So let's see how I do on this. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's my basic idea. So if I want to loop it, I can go up here and this little yellow bar, it's going to loop all the way from bar 20 to bar 28, okay? So here's what it sounds like, the whole track together. Here we go. breakfast, tacos for her lunch, tacos for dessert, tacos for her brunch. Okay, so again, I got a little loop here now. I don't even have to play the guitar, but what I do is I have some layers that are gonna play and allow me to start thinking how I can further advance the song, okay? Now, this is what I actually put into my looper pedal in the video I showed you before where I recorded the parts in there. Now I'm just taking it and putting it in the DAW, and it's allowing me to really start molding out the idea even further, okay? Honestly, I feel like this tempo feels a little bit slow, so I'm probably gonna kick it up a few notches, but I literally just wanted you to see how I do this process, okay? And again, it's pretty amazing what you can do in a home studio that 20 years ago, you didn't have access to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, real recording studios, not that this isn't one, but like professional ones are amazing. I've worked in a lot of them and they're incredible, but there's a really powerful thing to be able to do this at home, compose it at home and start a song. And you may even start composing your songs at home, finish them off. You might take them to a studio. There's really a whole bunch of different jobs within creating a song and like recording it and getting it to a professional level that people can hear. But no matter what, it's an amazing bit of fun, okay? So hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm going to keep working on this. In the next video, we'll hop back into the DAW, into the DAW, and we'll keep advancing the song. What I'll probably do is put a bass guitar in there, okay? And I don't know, some other parts. You just got to experiment. Like again, just like you take a piece of clay, you just start molding it. You have a bit of an idea of where it's going to go, okay? So what we'll also do is I think I'm gonna, before we leave here, I'll play another little part that'll kind of mimic what I might do on the bass guitar. So check this out. Let me loop this and then watch what happens here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is take my guitar and the two parts I played, I'm gonna just noodle another little part over that I'm thinking ahead in my mind what I might do on the bass guitar, okay? So we're gonna have drums, guitar, bass guitar, probably get some cool keyboard layers going, and then go from there. But here, check this out, and then we'll kind of end the video on this note, and then go from there, okay? So here's this. So I'm just gonna let it play. So I'm gonna let it play. Turn this down a little bit. See what I can come up with. Okay, here we go. Here's the progression is going to start over. Here we go. All right, so again, I had some parts recorded in here. Okay, and then it allowed me to keep composing the song, okay? So right here, basic drums, you'll see the process. I replaced these drums with a different set of drums called Superior Drummer 3, which is another amazing thing. Too much to go into now, but we'll get to it. I will probably add to these guitars, and I'll add a bass in here, and then let's experiment with some keyboard parts, okay? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you to Chris Fluffy. Thank you, Chris. Here he is, watching over me, making sure I'm doing my job. And let's keep coming back here. So again, thank you. Let's use music to make the world a better place for everybody, right? Because that's what we need more than anything. See you in the next video. Later.